Happy New Year, everyone, and may 2023 be our best year yet. However, unless we commit to doing things differently or better, it may just be another year with no tangible achievements. Sounds harsh, I know, but it's the reality. Last week, Folusho Gbadamosi talked to us about unleashing our superpowers to live a purposeful life, and she left us with the 4 Ds. Discover, that's to seek, deploy, develop, and dominate. Today, we're talking to Dr. Abiola Salami about flipping the script to achieve more. Essentially, taking stock, deciding what needs changing, and committing to doing it so that when we take stock again at the end of the year, we can hand on heart say we did flip the script. Dr. Abiola Salami is a performance strategist committed to raising world-class leaders and improving the productive capacity and brand perception of organizations and governments. Welcome, Dr. Salami.
Thank you for having me, Lady in Red.
Yeah, my mom's favorite color, red.
Good.
So yeah. So it's great to finally have you here.
Thank you.
And the first thing I wanted to ask you is, as a performance strategist, what would you recommend people looking to improve this year do differently?
A couple of things. One is it's important that we have respect for time.
We have respect for time.
Yes, we have respect for time. So we're in the new year. And would say January 1st, or rather December 31st to January 1st, everybody goes to different places. They go to, to be excited about the new year. And
crossover services.
Crossover services, whether you do it in the church or in other
mosque,
places. And then, but what we are not always mindful of is the moment is 12:01, is that time has started ticking. So today is 7th or 8th.
Yeah, 7th of
Today is
January.
7th of January. 7
week
days
has
gone
gone
already.
Yeah.
1 full week gone already. That 1 full week means 7 days, means 24 hours in 7 days, means 60 minutes in each hour, means 60 seconds in 60 minutes in 24 hours gone, right, already. Out of 52 weeks, 1 week is gone, and we have 51 weeks left. Now, many times, we don't really pay attention to how we use our time. We don't really pay attention to time. So 1 week is gone already. So we only have 51 weeks, to go. And there are people right now as we speak.
I've just done a calculation of 24 hours times 7 days.
Yes.
Minus an average of 6 hours sleep times 7 days. So essentially we only have 126. We've already gone 126 hours in the last 1 week divided by 7 days. So essentially 18 hours a day has already gone by.
Yes.
126 hours has already gone.
And it's important that we pay attention to how we use this 18 hours a day. I mean, yes, let's say we sleep on the average for 6 hours.
And then you have to wake up, you have to get ready.
Wake up, get ready, get into traffic. If you are staying in a highbrow city like Lagos,
another 6 hours out of that 18 hours.
Yeah, depending on where you stay and where you go and where you work, So, and then you now look at what's the productive time that I have left. And even while in traffic, you can still maximize that opportunity, especially if you are not the one driving.
True.
Right? While you're in traffic, there are things you can still do in maximizing your time. I mean, one of the things you can do is listen to an audiobook and something that can help you to develop a skill, which is the second thing that people need to do. We need to pay more attention to, which is acquiring a new skill. Last year, even if you got the best, even if it was your best year yet, even if you made all the money you wanted to make last year, there's still more that can happen for you in the new year. And one of the things that we have found in engaging, especially professionals, is understanding the skill gap that people have, which is the difference between their performance and their potential. And so in the new year, we can commit to acquiring additional skills. So one, we pay attention to how we use our time to ensure that we're not as distracted as we often get to be. People will you're supposed to be working and then you're on your phone. You say you're on Instagram, liking pictures of people that don't know you or even like you, and then you probably honestly picked your phone, to check something. And then 30 minutes gone, 1 hour gone, what you see yourself doing, you're probably watching some funny skit, you're doing something else other than a productive activity. So by paying attention to how we use our time, by respecting time, we'll become more productive, and we're not just only engaged in activity. Remember, there's a song that says time now money, meaning time is equal, just directly proportional to money. So each second counts. How well are you maximizing that time? So respect our time more. 2, commit to acquiring additional skills. 3, being more intentional about relationships.
Okay. Why?
Okay. Because no matter what it is we are looking for, you're looking for a business breakthrough, you're looking for a job somewhere, everything is around people. It's people. You are praying to God, for example, for miracles. I'm yet to see any time where a window just opened on somebody's roof, and then money starts to pour into the person's house or into the person's bank account. It's always around people. Transactions are always around people. So, and it's not about making relationships transactional. It's about being more intentional in developing relationships, committing to being there for people. It's someone's birthday, for example. You may not necessarily need to close your account. You buy them a gift. A simple message, will do. Committing to touching people's hearts even before asking them for a hand. Committing to being there for people. Committing to ensuring that the focus is not always about what you want to achieve, but helping other people to learn to grow, to open doors for them. It is very important.
I'm just smiling because I'm like, this is so important.
It is important. By the way, this being here today is a product of relationship.
It is.
It's a product of relationship. I mean, you had said to me that this was supposed to happen some time ago, and it did not happen.
Yes.
And for some reason, just about less than 2 weeks ago, that's when we met in person.
Yes.
And because someone connected us, and we are both sharing value to the people watching us right now. And who knows, the billions of dollars you may probably extend to me in the course of the year.
Amen.
Amen.
But what you've said, these 3 things are really, really key. So what I then would like to know is, are there any common inhibitors to being able to achieve our objective, and taking into account the 3 things you've said we need to be mindful of?
Okay. One of those things is when people overlook life lessons. So, for example, this interaction we're having, there are people that may think that, they're just talking again. Where what he's saying, I've tried it before. Or, I know this, why should I spend my time, waste my time, listening to this again? And the lessons we're sharing, they're crucial, for people, for all of us, if we want to make a difference in the new year. So when people overlook this insight, because none of us is smart. Every one of us, we are smart as the influences we yield ourselves to, right? And so when you don't yield yourself to things that can help you learn and grow and position yourself better, whatever the goal is, you may not achieve it. That is 1. 2 is distractions, big distractions. We're distracted. We're often distracted, especially in the age of social media. Often distracted. Some their distractions are their friends, because every now and then they have one very sweet gist. I mean, you have some friends, and your friends, that when you guys start to talk about this particular thing that's of interest, you can spend 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, and the gist, the sweet, true. But time is going, and with that distraction, we are unable to achieve whatever goal it is, that we have set for ourselves. The other one is procrastination. Which is, I like that smile on your face. I hope you're not guilty of it. I hope you're not guilty of it. The other one is procrastination, which is what you're supposed to do today. You say, I will do it later. And then you keep snoozing. I mean, my easiest way of understanding procrastination is when you set an alarm that you want to wake up by, let's say, 5:30 a.m. And then you set the alarm. And of course, the alarm goes on by 5:30 a.m. And then you just look at it and you snooze for another 5 minutes. And then it reminds you again by 5:35, you snooze for another 5 minutes. And then it is now 7 p.m. You've missed the appointment you were supposed to go for because you are now on the road when there's a lot of traffic, and then you spend 3 hours in traffic while you're supposed to spend maybe 1 hour, to commute. Procrastination, thief of time. So it is about what you have to do quick. I mean, there's this nursery rhyme says, tick says the clock, tick tick. what you have to do, do quick. Just do it. Just do it where you need to. Instead of snoozing, instead of postponing it, instead of procrastinating. Very important that we procrastinate less. And then if you're now saying that, okay, I've tried, what else can help me with this procrastination? You can get people that you can be accountable to. You can get people you can be accountable to. It can be your friends that the two of you trust each other and you are committed to helping each other to grow. And because you're accountable to that friend of yours, can ask you, so what's going on? 5 p.m. you're supposed to be here, you're not there yet, and that can help, to put you on the right track on procrastination. Procrastination is a thief of time. It's a big issue, big one.
Is there a way of simplifying all of this?
Okay.
Because a lot of the times we have the best intentions, but then, so is there a way of simplifying all of this?
Well, intentions themselves don't necessarily give anybody results. Intentions, it doesn't give anybody results. It's the action that we take. So how can we simplify this? Is by taking action. If you are not feeling fine and you visit the doctor, and the doctor will conduct a diagnosis, and afterwards the doctor will make a recommendation that take this drug and will write something that you should take to the pharmacy to get the drugs, and then you use based on the prescription. The best the doctor would do is to diagnose and give you a prescription. It is still the responsibility of the individual to go to the pharmacy, to take the drugs. Even after going home with the drugs, it's still the responsibility of the individual to use the drugs based on the prescription. So intentions are great, but actions are better.
Are there certain things that make it a bit more difficult to actually take those actions?
There's another thing that comes to mind, which is mindset. Which is mindset. And so if I already think that this thing cannot happen, if I already think that based on my background, based on the people around me, they've not achieved as much as this, I've even tried where I am now, and then I just have that mindset that is holding me back. I have a self-limiting belief that whatever it is I'm hearing and somebody saying is achievable, I think it's only for them. That's not for me. It will hold me back from taking action that I'm supposed to. There is an opportunity that they've extended to me, and I think I'm not good enough. I'm not qualified, even while they are saying that, try this out. It will hold me back from doing it. So mindset, which is why it's important that we commit to learning. We commit to opening our minds to things that can positively influence us. Remember, I shared a few minutes ago that I believe none of us is smart. Every one of us, we are smart as the influences we yield ourselves to. So if you have been influenced negatively, there's a high chance, that the person's mindset will hold the person back. There's an image, that I stumbled on not too long ago of a grown horse, mature horse, tied to a seat with a thin rope. And the story behind that is while the horse was still young, I think it should be called a calf, right? While the horse was still a calf, the horse was tied to that seat. So as a calf, the horse didn't have enough strength to pull that seat. Yeah. Despite that the horse is now mature, right? The horse still has a mindset that it's unable to pull that seat. Mindset. Yeah. The horse is fully grown, fully mature.
So it doesn't even try.
So it doesn't even try because the horse tried as a young calf and then could not pull it. So mindset. So we have adults who have people who are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, who are tied down to something because they couldn't change it in their teens or as a child, and that's why somebody said that growing old is mandatory, but growing up is optional. Growing old, the time will count. As we said, that time goes, the time will count. So 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, that's mandatory. But as you continue to grow, are you just growing old? You are growing up. That's the place, that is optional, which is why we expose ourselves to cutting-edge knowledge that can help us to reshape our minds, that can help us, not to allow our mindsets to stop us from our possibilities, because we can achieve more.
Are there are there any character traits that impact the ability to do this mindset shift?
Another great question. You're throwing in great questions.
Because I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, I need to go and watch this again.
Okay. So what comes to mind is open-mindedness. Being open-minded, not being closed-minded. Not always thinking that as it was in the beginning, so it is today, and so will it always be. Not thinking that as my life was yesterday, so will it be today, and so will it always be. Is having an open mind. Is that when you are even receiving some information, instead of debating the information, it's about trying to see how this information can apply to you. Because a lot of those things we're talking about, the battle is here, right? It's just in the mind, it's between our ears, right? The battle is here. Is that you're not building walls, to shield yourself from your possibilities and from the great information that is coming to you, is that you are open and you are asking questions. And you are not asking questions to debate what you're hearing. You're asking questions to see how to apply it to yourself. So being open-minded is key. Being open, being flexible. The other side of it is rigidity. Being flexible is key. That you're flexible to receiving knowledge, to learning and growing. Another synonym of learning is being teachable. Being teachable, meaning that you are open to learning, and any one of us who can learn. Whether you are 13 or you are 30, you are 18 or you are 80, you can learn. And one of the people that I've met in my life, my mentor, Dr. Christopher Kolade, who was 90 years old 2 weeks ago, who, anytime we're interacting, is telling me about the new thing is learning at that age. And I just always told myself that, boy, you have no choice. I mean, you see this man, he's almost 50 years older than me, and then he's learning new things, because as adults, we get to some point, we just tell ourselves that we're now old, we're now elders, and so because of that, we cannot learn. We say, oh, we've tried, we've paid our dues, but so far you're still breathing, right? You can still make a change. You can still make something great happen, for yourself.
Okay, I hear you. Could the method of learning be the problem for some people? Because it's not a one-size-fits-all.
Sure.
And sometimes people, I believe sometimes as people, we're trying to learn the way the other person learned, but it's not the way that works for us, so we don't achieve anything.
Great point. I read something about 2 days ago about the World Report on Happiness. And so Finland is number 1 in the world. And then there's a professor that conducted the research to find out why Finland is number 1. And one of the things they said is that in Finland, we don't compare ourselves to our neighbors, right? That we don't compare ourselves to our neighbors. We're on our own track. We're all learning and growing on our own track. How does this apply to the question that you've asked? Is that there are different ways we learn. And self-discovery is important. Self-awareness is important. Self-awareness is, I understand myself. I know how I learn. I know what triggers certain behaviors in me. It's not just that other people know it, because when they know it and I don't, they will use it against me, most likely. So I understand how I learn. And because I understand how I learn, I don't necessarily want to always learn what you are learning the way you are learning it. Some people, they are visual. They are visual learners, meaning that they want to see and then they learn. Some people, their audio is when they hear, they learn. Some people, it's the combination of the two. Some people don't like it to be formal. They just like it to sound like gist. That's how they learn. So it's important that you know how you learn. But that you should learn, very important. How you learn, you find out how best you can learn and then learn. But it is compulsory that we learn, that we acquire new skills, that we open our minds, to listening to things that can give us insights to make our future better. I believe that if you're still alive today, that there's opportunity for you to make tomorrow better than your present state. And we all can.
And do you have 5 guidelines for us on how we can apply all of these different things you've mentioned to having a more productive 2023?
Okay. 5. Let me try. Let me try. And let me refer to something I've said before. 1 is having respect for our time. Very important. Have respect for your time. 2, commit to acquiring new skills. Very important. 3, be intentional with relationships.
Sorry to interrupt you. In the process of committing to acquiring new skills, you need to figure out how best you learn.
Yes, you need to figure out how best you learn. 3, commit to being intentional about developing relationships. 4, take stock from time to time. Very important. And number 5, rest. In all of this,
I don't think anybody saw that number 5 coming. Rest. Because if you're talking about time being finite, how do you effectively rest?
So we're not saying that be awake 24 hours and be working, because you will not last long. You will drop some time along the line. It's about also making time to rest. Making time to rest. And when you're resting, it's not just that you're lying on your bed and you're pressing your phone. That's not
you're
resting.
Actively resting. You're being intentional about rest.
Yes, very important.
This has been really, really good. And for me, it's really helped me. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And well done on
so
this.
Much.
Well done on this. Well done on your consistency.
Thank you, Abiola. Thank you. Like I always say to people when I talk about this segment, everything I talk about applies to me as well as everybody else. So I really hope that we've taken a lot away from this session. I'm really quite excited for 2023.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe you'll become my accountability partner.
Why not?
So we've come to the end again. John, Helen, and myself will very quickly round off the show. So please stay with us for a few more minutes. Thank you.